Undercover black CEO insulted in her own showroom. What she does next shocks the entire staff. The showroom of Elite Motors gleamed under the midday sun, its glass walls reflecting the Chicago skyline. Rows of polished cars, sleek sedans, roaring SUVs stood like silent sentinels, their chrome details catching the light. At the center of it all was Nia Carter, a woman whose presence could command a boardroom but who, today, was dressed in a simple blazer and jeans, her hair pulled back in a low bun. To the untrained eye, she was just another customer. But Nia was no ordinary visitor. She was the CEO of Elite Motors, a titan in the automotive industry, and today she was undercover. Nia had built Elite Motors from a single dealership to a national empire over a decade. Her journey wasn't just a business triumph, it was a defiance of odds. As a black woman in a male-dominated, often prejudiced industry, she'd faced skepticism, microaggressions, and outright hostility. Yet, her vision and grit had made Elite a brand synonymous with luxury and inclusivity. Lately, though, whispers of toxic behavior at her flagship Chicago showroom had reached her. Complaints of racial bias from customers and employees alike had prompted this covert visit. She needed to see the truth for herself. Nia stepped inside, the cool air of the showroom brushing her skin. The scent of new leather and wax filled the space, but the atmosphere felt heavier than she'd expected. A salesman, Greg, approached her with a practiced smile that didn't reach his eyes. He was in his late 40s, his tie slightly crooked, his demeanor oozing confidence that bordered on arrogance. "Welcome to Elite Motors," Greg said, his tone clipped. "Looking for something specific? Or just browsing?" His eyes scanned her, lingering on her casual attire, and Nia caught the flicker of dismissal in his gaze. "I'm interested in the E500 sedan," she said calmly, pointing to a midnight blue model nearby. "Can you tell me about its features?" Greg's smile tightened. "That's a high-end model, ma'am. Starts at $85,000. We've got more affordable options over there." He gestured vaguely toward a corner of the showroom where older, less expensive cars sat. Nia's jaw tightened, but she kept her voice even. "I'd like to focus on the E500. Can you walk me through the specs?" Greg sighed, barely hiding his irritation. "Look, I've been doing this a long time. That car's not for everyone. Maybe something more practical would suit you." His tone dripped with condescension, the word "you" landing like a subtle jab. Nia's heart sank, not for herself but for every customer who'd faced this before her. She'd heard the stories black customers ignored, stereotyped, or subtly pushed toward cheaper models. But hearing it and experiencing it were different beasts. Her pulse quickened, anger simmering beneath her composed exterior. Before she could respond, a young employee, Jamal, approached. He was in his early 20s, his Elite Motors polo shirt crisp, his expression nervous but earnest. "Ma'am, I can help with the E500, he said, shooting a wary glance at Greg. "It's got a 3.0-liter V6, 400 horsepower, and advanced safety features like—" Greg cut him off with a sharp laugh. "Kid, don't waste her time. She's not buying that car." He turned to Nia, his voice lowering as if sharing a secret. "No offense, but we get a lot of folks in here who just want to look around. Let's not tie up the floor." The air in the showroom seemed to thicken, the hum of distant conversations fading. Customers nearby glanced over, sensing the tension. Nia's eyes narrowed, her mind racing. She could reveal herself now, end the charade and fire Greg on the spot. But that wouldn't fix the deeper problem. She needed to understand how far this went. "Actually," Nia said, her voice steady but laced with steel, "I'd like to test drive the E500. Now." Greg's face reddened, his smile vanishing. Test drives are for serious buyers. We don't just let anyone take a car like that out. Jamal shifted uncomfortably, his eyes darting between Nia and Greg. Sir, I can set it up. It's no trouble. Stay out of this, Jamal, Greg snapped. You're still on probation. Don't make me report you for overstepping. Nia's anger flared, but she saw something in Jamal's expression: fear. Yes, but also defiance. He was risking his job to do what was right. She made a mental note. This young man was more than he seemed. The confrontation drew attention. A small crowd of employees and customers formed, whispers rippling through the showroom. Then, a new voice cut through the tension. What's going on here? It was Marla, the showroom manager, a woman in her 50s with a no-nonsense air. Nia had hired her years ago for her efficiency, but now she wondered if Marla was part of the problem. Greg spun toward Marla, his tone shifting to one of exaggerated concern. This lady's demanding a test drive for the E500, but I'm trying to explain it's not a good fit. We're just managing expectations. Marla's eyes flicked to Nia, assessing her in a split second. Greg's right, she said coolly. We have protocols. Not everyone qualifies for a test drive. Nia's heart pounded, not with hurt but with clarity. This wasn't just one bad apply, it was a culture. Her own showroom, built on her sweat and dreams, was failing the very people she'd vowed to serve. She took a deep breath, ready to drop the facade, when Jamal spoke up again. That's not fair, he said, his voice trembling but firm. She's a customer, same as anyone. The E500's right there. Let her drive it. The room went silent. Greg's face twisted with fury, and Marla's eyes widened in shock. Nia saw her moment. Enough, she said, her voice cutting through the room like a blade. She pulled a business card from her pocket and placed it on the desk. Her name and title: Nia Carter, C emblazoned in gold. The crowd gasped. Greg's face paled, and Marla froze, her mouth agape. I came here to see how my company treats its customers, Nia said, her voice rising with controlled fury. And what I've seen is a disgrace. You assumed I couldn't afford your time, let alone your cars. You judged me by my skin, my clothes, my presence. And you're not alone. This stops now. The showroom was a tomb, every eye on Nia. Greg stammered. Two didn't know. You shouldn't have to know, Nia snapped. Every customer deserves respect. Every employee deserves a voice. She turned to Jamal, who stood wide-eyed. You, what's your story? Jamal hesitated, then spoke. I'm a single dad. Got this job to support my daughter. I see people like me get treated like this all the time. I couldn't stay quiet. Nia nodded, a spark of pride cutting through her anger. You're promoted. Floor supervisor, effective immediately. The crowd murmured, and Jamal blinked, stunned. As for Greg, Nia's gaze was unforgiving. You're done here. Pack your things. Marla started to protest, but Nia silenced her with a look. And you, Marla, will answer to HR. We're auditing this entire branch. The staff buzzed with shock, some nodding in quiet approval, others exchanging guilty glances. Nia turned to the customers watching. Elite Motors was built on fairness. We're going to do better, starting today. As she walked out, the weight of the moment settled over her. She'd exposed a wound, but she'd also found an ally in Jamala, reminder that change could come from unexpected places. The fight wasn't over, but it was hers to lead. What do you think? Where does justice begin in a situation like this? And how do we balance accountability with second chances?